Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for March 22nd. March 22nd is the 81st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 82nd in leap years, with 284 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is passel. Passel is a noun that means a large number or amount. The word passel comes to us as an alteration of the word parcel, which means a package, part, or piece. Parcel and its offspring passel come to us from Middle English, Anglo-French before that, and ultimately from Latin. First known use of the word passel is in 1835. Passel. And with that, the Massachusetts Bay Colony outlawed the possession of cards, dice, and gaming tables on March 22, 1630. Raised by an Anglican cleric and schoolteacher, Anne Hutchinson had a better education than most women of her time. After she moved to the American colonies, she began hosting meetings in her home, where she gave commentary on the recent sermon. By and by, she began to express disagreement with what most preachers were preaching. They didn't like that very much. Of course they wouldn't. She ended up being tried and convicted, although I wasn't able to pin down exactly what the crime was. The outcome was that on March 22, 1638, Anne Hutchinson was expelled from the Massachusetts Bay Colony for religious dissent. Now we're going to jump from 1638 to 1945, when on March 22, 1945, a regional organization of Arab states got together to establish the Arab League. They formed this to coordinate political aims, resolve disputes, and foster economic growth. The Equal Rights Amendment, also known as the ERA, looked to provide for legal equality of the sexes and prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex. It was passed by the U.S. Senate on March 22, 1972, and went to the states for ratification. It was ratified by 30 states before a year was out. The ultimate deadline for ratification of the ERA was set for March 22, 1979, and it would require 38 states' ratification in order to pass and become law. Interestingly, labor feminists who, as a group, sought protectionist legislation and special benefits for women opposed the ERA. They felt the ERA would undermine the gains they'd made in the treatment of women workers. They didn't want to end all distinctions based on sex, only the ones that hurt women. Ultimately, the act did fail to achieve the required 3/4 of states to ratify in order to become the 27th Amendment, although some 25 or so states have crafted and adopted their own equal rights amendments at the state constitution level. By the way, there is a 27th Amendment now. It's just not this one. My Eyes Adored You by Frankie Valli was written by Kenny Nolan and originally recorded by the Four Seasons early in 1974. For some reason, Motown didn't want to release it, so lead singer of the Four Seasons, Frankie Valli, bought the recording for $4,000. Now that was in 1974 dollars, and allowing for inflation, that would be more like almost $26,000 in 2025, so pretty good chunk of dough there. He pitched the song to Capitol and Atlantic Records. They declined as well, but Frankie Valli really believed in this song, so he kept trying, and he got a contract with a label called Private Stock Records. The owner of Private Stock Records, though, only wanted Frankie Valli's name on the record. My Eyes Adored You was released in November of 1974 and hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 on March 22, 1975. This would be Frankie Valli's first number 1 hit as a solo artist, and the success of this song revived interest in the Four Seasons recordings. My Eyes Adored You, number 1, March 22, 1975. Link in the description. Today's quote is by Irish poet and playwright Oscar Wilde, who said, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." Love that. Alrighty, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.